What you guys need to understand is there is no saving the old system. The old system is done. The old system is dead. Welcome to the new world. They're reeling in the new system. Listen, Gen Z, millennials, older millennials, you were set up to fail from the very beginning. You were born into a declining system. There was and never will be anything that you can do about the old system. The old system is done. So the whole go to school and get a degree, get a good degree so you can get a good job, and that good job will take care of you for 40, 50 years, and you'll be able to retire on a 401k, and you'll be able to buy a house and build a white picket fence around your house. And for the men, you will be able to live happily ever after with your wife, your conservative wife, and your 2-3 kids, and your little Shih Tzu dog. Those days are over with. That system no longer exists, especially for the working class. They didn't tell you this in school. They didn't warn you about this in school. Instead, they continued to tell you all that they knew. This is all that they knew. The people who taught you this, your elders, your grandparents, your parents, they weren't aware that when or where or how the new system was going to be brought in as well. Because guess what? They were also born into a declining system. It's just facts. Everybody is unaware. Only the few is aware of the new system that they're ushering in. Only the few. But this is how it was designed to be. This is how they intended to be, because they don't want you to catch up. No. They don't want you to catch up. See, y'all keep thinking that the elites or the people in control somehow want you to live happily ever after. You keep thinking that, oh, they want you to build a white picket fence. Oh, they want you to have a good job. No. We're no longer in those time periods. See, let me tell you something. See, the only reason that the middle class existed, the working class existed, they made sure that y'all existed just so you could make that money, which is already taxed, right? So you can give them back that money and they can tax you some more. It was a faulty system from the get-go. It was a scam-likely system from the get-go. That's the only reason why the working class existed. That was the only reason why the middle class in America existed. You only existed to serve the wealthy. You only existed to serve the interest of the investors. You only existed to serve the interest of the multinational corporations. That's why you existed. So they gave you the white picket fence. Yep. They gave you the house on the prairie, the house in the prairie, right? They allowed you to be able to have 2 or 3 kids cheaply, right? And some along the way were able to gain some kind of wealth. Yeah. They were able, some of you were able to do it. But here's when the ball drops. That time is no longer here. Those times no longer exist. Birth rates are declining. Marriages are declining. Right? Most people do not own their homes anymore, especially if you're under 40. If you're under 40, you can't even afford a home. You can't even get a job that will allow you to be able to purchase that home. We're all effed. We're all effed. And listen, the only way to get around this is to build your own system. That's the only way around this, to build your own system. What do I keep telling y'all? All safety nets are gone, especially in America. All safety nets are gone. There are no more safety nets for you. There will be no one to save you when you fall. You can fall on your head. It is up to you to not break your neck. Because if you break your neck, that is it. No surgeon, no nobody, no neck surgeon is not coming to save you. Most people, the majority of people can't afford a neck surgeon, right? So you got to understand, you have to see the system for what it is. You have to know when a system is changing. You have to know when technology is changing. You have to know when they're switching up the game. But here's the gist of it right here. Every few decades, this happens. Every few decades, there's a algorithm change. You gotta think of the world that we live in as a algorithm change, and that there's a group of people making decisions so that they can mostly benefit from it, and so they can move their money around, so they can best find the best possible way for them to make money. This is what you got to understand. So every few decades, there's an algorithm change. Right now, 2025, 2026, we're experiencing an algorithmic change where the old systems are being deliberately, purposefully burned down. And while the masses are still wondering and still trying to figure out why it's happening or what is happening, the elites, or better yet, not even just the elites, people who are paying attention, they're jumping the gun. They're developing systems, developing apps, developing businesses that will be able to function in the new world. But the vast majority of you may just get left behind. Because every few decades, there is a group who realize what is going on, and then they tag along with the change. But the vast majority, they wait until it's too late. When everybody catches on to what's going on, that's when it's too late. It's too late then. When everybody starts figuring out, if they ever figure it out, once everybody else start figuring out what's going on, the gates are going to close. But right now, all the gates are open. Best believe it. Through all of the chaos, through all of the turmoil, oh yeah, the gates are wide open. But they're wide open for the people who can see the game for what it is. It's wide open for people who are able to see the algorithmic change in play. Right? You have to be able to see that the powers are shifting. You have to be able to see that the money is shifting. Look at what just happened with silver. Look at what just happened with the silver and gold. Look at what just happened. Right? Listen, you think this is a game? No, it was deliberately crashed. It was deliberately crashed. Why? Because too many people started to catch on to what's going on. Many people have lost trust in the fiat system. So much so that the silver makers of the world, right? The people who make these silvers, right? You have your eagles, your silver eagles. I forgot the name of them, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Your mints. There we go. Your mints, right? They deliberately slowed this thing down. We have too many people. We have too many people buying silver. We have too many people catching on. We can't have a mass amount of people buying silver and gold at the same time that countries themselves are trying to buy silver and gold so they can stay afloat. Because not only did the people lose faith in the fiat system, it seems like the government itself is also losing faith in the fiat system. Right? And people caught on to that. Well, if the government is moving on, what I tell you guys, you need to move in the same way that the government is moving. The government is going to do whatever's in their best interest. So guess what you should do? You should do whatever is in your best interest. But like I said before, when everybody catches on, guess what they do? They close the gate. And what just happened with silver? That's a perfect example. People start losing trust in the US dollar. People start losing trust in the fiat system. So guess what? People start buying silver. People start buying commodities. People start buying gold. And guess what they did? Oh, we're going to hit the button. And let's crash all this shit. Let's crash all this shit since they think it's a game. Let us tell them who's in control. Let's let them know who's the head honcho in charge. Let us let them know who's the HNIC. This is what's going on. So I'm telling you, from here on out, you better start paying attention. You better start paying attention to what's going on. Because it's every man's for himself out here. And it just so happened that, yep, you were born at a time where you couldn't afford a home. The graduates who are now graduating this year, they're graduating in probably the worst economy since 08. And it may be getting worse than 08. And then you have older Gen Z, can't find a job. Millennials never really inherited the American dream. They inherited the American debt system, right? They inherited the military industrial complex, right? They inherited the debt industrial complex. This is what millennials inherited. They didn't get the promise. They're still not living a promise. Many millennials are still trying to get up off their feet. Many millennials lost homes in 08, still recovering from that. Just to come into a new economy, right? 15 years later, 16 years later, right? And the same thing is happening all over again. So what does this tell you? What does this tell you? If the same thing continues to repeat itself, if you're seeing the same things over and over again, what does that tell you about what I just said? The algorithmic changes that happens every or so decade. If you're seeing the same things, the same signals every single time, and you're not changing, you're still doing the same thing over and over again, then you're the problem. And quite frankly, most people are the problem. Most people are the sheep. Most people are sheep. They just follow whatever society tells them to do. This is why you still have graduates in 2026 still graduating with sociology degrees. You have graduates still graduating with psychology degrees, bachelor's in psychology, right? Meaningless degrees, meaningless bachelor's degrees that won't do anything for you. This is why you still have this, because you still have agents in the system still telling the younger generation how to be just agents in the system. That is it. You're just going to be an agent. You're just going to be a sheep in a matrix. And that is it. And by the time you wake up to the nonsense, it's too late. Or you're already deep in. You're already deep into consumer debt. You're already deep into student loan debt. You're already too deep in. Right? To the point where now you're just trying to figure shit out. I'm trying to let you know before you get too deep in, for the millennials, right? For the Gen Z, for everybody, right? The system is changing. What you have to accept is you were born into a system. They didn't give you no warning. They didn't give you no forewarning. They didn't tell you, hey, this is what this is going to be like. This is how this is going to be. There is not going to be any remorse. There's not going to be any kind of recourse. There's not going to be any of that. You're going to sit down and you're going to accept what we give you. And this is what they're doing. They're robbing us blind. And they know that most people are not going to do nothing because most people are too weak to fight back. Right? They're not strong enough to fight the real system. Right? The people who will adapt, they are the people who are logical enough to understand that this is way bigger than them. This is bigger than me. There's nothing that I can literally do to change any outcome or to reverse anything. That's beyond my control. But what I can do is adapt to what's going on. What I can do is, right, ride the wave, right? Why are you fighting the wave? Surfers don't fight the wave. No, they ride with it. They become one with it. You have to become one with the chaos. That's where all of the money is being made, within the chaos. But you're too blinded by the chaos, right? Don't become a nihilist just because you were born in a difficult world, or born in a world that's not going to give you anything, born in a world where now you're realizing a whole bunch of false promises were made. Listen, it is what it is. It is what it is. So if you're prepared, if you're ready to change your mindset, if you're ready to actually take action and to ride the wave and to become one with what's going on, you want to survive the new system, you want to be a part of the new system, because it's going to happen anyway. It happens every few decades. Come over to the Escape Blueprint. Come over to the family, become part of the family, right? So you can stay aware, and so you can have the tools that you need to be able to fight this new system, to be able to survive in this new system, to be able to make money in this new system. You don't want to get caught slacking. You don't want to be a part of the sheep. So join the Escape Blueprint. Link is in the description. Listen, the after pill is the ideology. The Escape Blueprint is the framework. And PFP Life is how you should live. Purpose, freedom, and power. And this was an after pill. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace. I built a life. I built a family. I worked my hands raw to get here. And I'm not done. This is the Escape Blueprint. PFP Life. A way out of the grind and into control. You'll learn how I stack cash, build systems, and reclaim time so you can live on your own terms. You will watch me maneuver and grind towards the life that I achieve for myself, and you can also do the same. Join the circle, join the Patreon, learn the steps, and protect your freedom. The Escape Blueprint, PFP Life.